Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, TNA Sacrifice. Yeah, it was Friday night, so I was able to get it watched over the weekend. You know what? Life happens. Sometimes you can't watch everything live. And so we're going to go ahead and run down this show. Overall, really good show. I like the direction that TNA is going. For the most part, I love the fact that you have somebody like a Moose as the world champion. That you have ABC as... well, if you've seen the results, as were the tag team champions, and you have a faction like the System, you have Hammerstone, you have Josh Alexander, you have Nick Nemeth, you have Mustafa Ali, you got these Billing Stone, grizzled young veterans, these talented wrestlers who you can build a company around. So you definitely love the direction. I wish they could get a TV deal, but the fact that you can get TNA Plus fairly cheap, watch all the Impacts, watch the monthly shows, and then obviously the premium shows like a Rebellion. You just got to pay for those, but definitely you can get that involved as well. That's like $220 a year for everything TNA. Definitely worth it. All right, so in TNA Plus on Friday night we had TNA Sacrifice. Now on Countdown to Sacrifice we had the TNA Digital Media Championship on the line. We had champion Crazy Steve going up against Joe Hendry. You say his name and he appears. I've always liked Joe Hendry. I like the gimmick. I like the way he wrestles. And obviously the pandemic killed his Ring of Honor run. Killed Ring of Honor at the time. Till Tony bought it. Now we got Joe Hendry in TNA. Former TNA Digital Media Champion. This Crazy Steve, I just can't get behind him. He's kind of goofy. Psycho goofy, I guess you call it. 4-minute match. I kind of like, you know what, this wasn't even a teaser match. This was just like, what the fuck just happened match. But Crazy Steve retaining his title. 4 minutes and 7 seconds. I gave it 1.5 stars. Now, the match that was worth watching on the Countdown to the Sacrifice was Speedball Mountain, Speedball McBailey, and Trent Sabin versus the Rascalz. Trey, Miguel, and Zachary Wentz. This is one of those matches that you need as a countdown show to kick everything off, to get everyone hyped for the show that's coming up. You have the power of Trent Sabin. You have the striking ability of Speedball McBailey. You have the aerial ability of Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz. All that was on the line here. Two of the top tag teams in professional wrestling, not just TNA, in professional wrestling. Speedball McBailey, Trent Sabin, Speedball Mountain getting the victory. A little less than 8 minutes, 3.5 star match. So this is one of those matches, it's like, it was short, sweet, to the point, everyone got their stuff in, boom, bam, boom. There you go, ready for the show start. Then we kick off the show with a hard-hitting Nick Nemeth versus Steve Maclin, first time ever matchup. People like Nick Nemeth, who grew up in the WWE system, all they ever knew was that, not knowing what was out there else, the fact we see Nick Nemeth everywhere. We've seen him, he was at Wrestle Kingdom, he's been at TNA. I'm assuming at one point in time we'll see him in AEW, but people like him that go out there, who have a name, who have the technical ability that he does, I want to see Nick Nemeth versus Zack Sabre Jr. I mean, whew. Because we know what Nick Nemeth's background is. And Steve Maclin, just a brawler. These two went out there and actually put on a hell of a fight. 14 minutes opened the show. 3 3/4 star match with Nick Nemeth getting the victory. Next up, we had the TNA World Tag Titles on the line. We had the System, which with Moose and Alisha Edwards, Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards versus ABC, Bullet Club, Ace Austin, Chris Bay. Surprising a little bit. I like the run that ABC has had. They've been tag team champions here in TNA now there were 139 days as tag team champions. And on their second run, their first run, they had 140 days. I think they're both talented, and I think they're great as singles wrestlers, or even better as a tag team. But putting the titles on the System, Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, and then Moose at the time having the TNA World title, putting all the titles in that one faction I like it to a point, but I also like the fact that not all the titles should be in a faction like that. Now, if they put the knockout title on Alisha Edwards, then be like, okay, come on now. Enough's enough. But Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards becoming your new TNA Tag Team Champions here with help from Alisha Edwards. 13 minutes and 22 seconds. 3.5-star match. Next up, I didn't like this match. It was PCO versus Khan. No disqualification. Maybe I'm just jaded a little bit because I watched AEW, because I watch Game Changer Wrestling, because I watch Unsanctioned Pro, because I watch ICW No Holds Barred. When you talk about no disqualification match and you start getting chairs involved, trash cans, I'm expecting blood of some sort. I'm expecting some type of carnage. You didn't have any real. You did have none of that here. It's like, are you kidding me right now? Why wasn't Khan just bloodied up all the hell and like he can't kill the monster PCO or vice versa, even having PCO just bloody and all this and it Khan doing everything in the world to him and he can't kill him and PCO wins. We didn't have that really. We just had a lot of hit him with the chair, hit him with the trash can, pile of chairs. Yeah. It's like, what? But if you look at TNA and you look at TNA as a similar version to WWE, that's the WWE style as well. So I kind of got it to a point. I just didn't care for the match itself. 8 minutes and 22 seconds. I give it 2-star. 2 3/4 star. Next up, we had the TNA Knockouts Tag Titles on the line. We had champion the MK Ultra, Killer Kelly, Masha, Slamovich, two of the toughest badass bitches in the professional wrestling, going up against Spitfire, Dani Luna, Jody Threat. Yay, fun. Kind of, the Spitfire reminds me a lot of, oh god, what's their name? Caden Carter and Katana Chance with WWE. Kind of that energetic, kind of facey, energetic, kind of hoo-ha, ha-ha-ha-ha cheerleader type. And then MK Ultra is just the badass bitches who's going to kick your ass and then, ask you a question about why they kicked your ass later kind of deal. The fact that this match lasted 2 minutes and 34 seconds with an MK Ultra loss. But there was at the end of it, you saw kind of some distinction between Alisha with Killer Kelly and Masha Slamovich. Like, I can look at them kind of tearing MK Ultra apart, or the two of them go their separate ways, or we have a one-on-one match, which makes them stronger as a tag team. I'm not sure what angle they're heading with this, but the fact you had this match in 2 minutes and 34 seconds with Spitfire winning, I'm like, what the hell just happened? I gave this match 1.5 star. It was not even hardly worth watching. And I left with more questions than answers. It's like, what? What just happened? And then we get into match of the night. Next up, we had, not surprising, Josh Alexander in match of the night. Figure that one out. Going up against Hammerstone. We found out Hammerstone signed the deal with TNA. Hopefully that gives him some freedom to maybe do some other stuff as well. But Hammerstone, one of the top talents out there, one of the top free agent wrestlers. Powerful, energetic. He's able to go out there and just have great matches and kind of like a Brian Cage style. But him against Josh Alexander, hard-hitting, just in-your-face match for 18 minutes. These two guys tore it down. I hate that Josh Alexander lost this, but I love the fact they're putting Hammerstone over. Hammerstone, I can't wait to see Hammerstone and Moose. That's going to be epic. But Hammerstone winning this match, 3 3/4 star. Next up, we had a 6-man tag. We had the Time Machine, Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, and KUSHIDA going up against the grizzled young veterans, Liverpool's #1 Zack Gibson and James Drake, teaming up with Mustafa Ali in his world tour. There's been some feuding between Mustafa Ali, the current X Division champion, and former X Division champion Chris Sabin. Mustafa Ali, the first wrestler ever to debut in TNA and win the X Division Championship, beating Chris Sabin at the last show. And what was that? I don't even remember the name of the last show, to be honest with you. Wow. I watch them all. No Surrender. It's like it was no something. But yeah, in fact, Mustafa's been hanging with the Good Hands. And he's like, and he met up with the Grizzled young vets, and we're like, yeah, I'd rather go with these other guys. He's a hell of a tag team. He's probably one of the top tag teams out there. But yeah, I just love the fact that you have Mustafa Ali everywhere and winning titles everywhere. I mean, a lot of indie companies have used Mustafa Ali this year so far. And because of that, I've actually kind of followed some of those companies. The Grizzled Young Veterans the same way. Both of these guys, Drake and Gibson and even Mustafa Ali, once they left the juggernaut of WWE, I think the vets kind of got back to their roots like they were before. I think this is going to really help Mustafa Ali become that more, I don't say known guy, but main event guy, kind of like it's helped other people. But Time Machine, I know with the fact that at No Surrender, the fact that KUSHIDA threw the towel in for Alex Shelley in that No Surrender Rules match versus Moose, that causes dissension. Sabin and Shelley don't seem like they've been on the same page either. So there's a lot going on there with the Machine Guns, KUSHIDA, which the Time Machine part comes from Alex Shelley and KUSHIDA when they were in New Japan. But I think there's some issues there. But it's good to see Mustafa Ali and Grizzled Young Veterans get the victory. I ended up giving this match 3.5. Next up, we had a TNA Knockout World Title on the line, a triple threat match. We had champion Jordynne Grace versus Tasha Steelz and Zaya Brookside. I know on Impact, we had Tasha and Zaya in the number one contender match. And in the time limit, if I remember right, or double counted or something like that. And Jordynne Grace came out and said, you know what, you both won a title shot, let's do it all at once, triple threat match. I don't know, this match was kind of just there. It was good. Just nothing spectacular. It wasn't, oh my god, this is the greatest women's match ever. But Jordynne Grace, definitely a top tier talent. 3.25 star with Jordynne Grace retaining her title here. I'm not sure where they go with the title. I mean, who takes it off of her? Is it a Masha Slamovich? Is it a Killer Kelly? Do they break up MK Ultra? Do they bring somebody in? Do they try to build somebody up they already have? But definitely time will tell on that one. I kind of can't wait to Impact to see where they go with this next, because we have April 20th is Rebellion, and then May 3rd is Under Siege. So we'll see where that goes. Do they do something more with AAA? I know Tessa Blanchard has been in CMLL. Do they try to get her? Does she show up in AEW? Who knows? But definitely going forward, Jordynne Grace is still your TNA Knockout Champion. She is going on 58 days with that title. Won it back in Las Vegas at Hard to Kill. So we'll see if, Deanna, the last two champions, Trinity, Deanna, and then before that was Mickey, and Tasha was before that. So it's like, if Tasha didn't win it in a triple threat match by pinning Zaya Brookside, then who beats Jordynne Grace? We'll see. But 3.25 star on that one. Next up, we had a TNA World Title Online main event. Champion Moose versus TNA original Eric Young, former TNA World Heavyweight Champion. It was okay. Nothing spectacular, to be honest with you. 22 minutes of just wrestling. Two guys out there wrestling. Eric Young hit 4 tombstones or four pile drivers. Didn't beat Moose with that. You actually, toward the end, you kind of figured you'd have the system come out, and they pulled the referee out when Eric Young had the 2 count. They pulled the referee out. The system told the referee they needed to DQ Moose for it. Eric Young said, no, you don't. Kick them out. I'll keep going. And then you had a masked person come out, looked like a ring worker, come out and attack Eric Young with a cable. It was Kazarian, Frankie Kazarian. So obviously you got issues there with Frankie Kazarian and Eric Young. That was the number 1 contender match at No Surrender that Frankie lost. So you got hit thing there. Now Frankie Kazarian part of the system. That's interesting to see if it was just kind of Frankie on his own or if he is part of the system. We'll find out on Impact with that. But still, your TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Moose. Again, Hammerstone versus Moose will be awesome. Alexander versus Moose will be awesome. Josh Alexander, so far in 2024, has put together some great matches and a great resume. For example, and we know he had the match against Ospreay before Ospreay got to AEW. He lost his match against Hammerstone. Some Gotch match at No Surrender was pretty cool. It was really good. Then he had, let's see here, Alan Angels on Impact, Ospreay on Impact, Hammerstone at Hard to Kill. And even go to House of Glory, he had a killer match against Mike Santana, which I may go ahead and throw that review up with the most current House of Glory show review up. But yeah, so I mean, honestly, Josh Alexander in 2024 has had a banger year. He's doing banger after banger after banger. But that is TNA Sacrifice review. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show, and don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content.